Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Star Trek Adventures campaign, the Shackleton Expanse. We're here again on the Orion's Pleasure. Um, and this week, we're going to have a fun one. Not as threatening as last time with the whole like 12 threat I had at the top. Go back to a regular 8 this week. But of the two competitions that we have running at the moment, we've only got the one. So we'll come to that. As we said, hello to everybody, but you'll be in a chance with winning one of the copies of this module that we're using on Roll20 for Star Trek Adventures. If you follow my instructions in just a few minutes' time. Before we do that, let's check in with everyone, see how you're all doing. Anita, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good.
Awesome.
Just getting everything ready because we're going to be doing a new slate of shows on Critical Misses. So we actually have applications open right now if folks want to run a show. We'll handle the tech and all the casting and everything. You just got to worry about focusing on the story.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm very excited about that. We've got a couple really good pitches so far, and I'm excited to see which ones we end up going with and the cast we wind up going with for those.
Sweet. If you've got a link to like any of that, just post it in the chat
I
and
do.
stuff.
I'll grab that from the Critical Misses Twitter and I'll post it in chat.
Yeah, sweet. And have it to hand and we'll give it a shout at the end as well.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. And then it's Tom, right?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Or at least if you're going that way, then yeah.
I'm going that way.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
I am okay. I'm okay.
Good.
I'm looking forward to a more relaxed, chill, have a martini, put your feet up kind of episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, totally what it's going to be, isn't it?
Definitely.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Definitely. But yeah, you had a big one last week. So
yeah. In all fairness, Harvey did really, really well last week. He rolled crazy and normally rolled.
Oh, you did? Yeah, that's right.
My guts normally hates my guts so severely. I normally get one-shotted. So it was nice that I didn't have that thing, and he did very well. So I think he's really coming into himself. Just to like get to the thing where the big bad thing happens, that this one last saving thing, and then he fails. That's when Roll20 is going to get me and kick me in the groin. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we know it. Looking forward to it. I didn't know what to say. And I would come to Tim, but he's got his mouth full. Hi, how are you doing? Awesome, good. Back with Ohsron this week, as opposed to your supporting character, which should be a good time. And I think this is like, going on board a Orion pleasure barge and like, schmoozing with the captain and the regulars and stuff. Probably like more up Ohsron Street than last week.
Oh, this is his. He will constantly be having a margarita with him at all times. Ooh, no, Cosmo. An Orion Cosmo. It's blue instead of pink, but it's always fruity and fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It has to be alien something, right? It can't be just, a margarita. It has to be like,
if I have the galaxy at my fingertips, why would I drink Earth drinks? Please, Sol 3 is nothing on the rest of the galaxy.
Amazing. All right, cool. I'm looking forward to it. And Susie, how have you been?
Hello, I'm good. I'm living and struggling with a post-Eurovision world. I don't know what to do with myself now.
We don't talk about it, please.
I know. I just want to put that out there for public record. Finland was robbed. Cha cha cha.
Come on, really, Finland?
Yeah,
Finland.
I admittedly like France, but I think Sweden won because ABBA's 50th. That's my vibe. I figure it's kind of like a very on purpose, but okay, yeah, Finland was pretty amazing. Sorry, I totally interrupted that. I watched from work. I don't even care. It was I am so thrilled that they finally put it on YouTube so that us North Americans can watch. Oh my god, so much fun.
Yeah.
But now there's just a very camp hole in my heart that it's going to take some time to heal,
About 9 months, and then they'll start ramping up again.
Yeah.
and then it'll be good. Then we'll be back. But yeah, you're right. I'm hurt by what happened. And they did my girl Norway bad as well. They did her
Yeah,
wrong.
she was Queen of the Kings.
Yeah.
She was. And Austria. Man, so many acts got robbed this year. I don't public vote. You don't know what you're talking about, public. You shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore. Let me vote. I know.
Stunning.
So yeah, that's me. Hello.
Thank you. And I am still really heckin' tired from going up to Liverpool last week. I saw the semi-finals on Thursday, and that was super fun. And then we had a party on Saturday to commiserate all the amazing acts that did not win. And then I guess we'll just watch it in. I mean, I would say Oslo, but it's probably not going to be there. Stockholm. No, it's not Oslo because that's
I
in
think
Norway.
Malmo is a contender this year.
Is Malmo contender for the next host? Okay, well, there we go then. All right, well, we should probably play Star Trek because otherwise we'll just be talking about Eurovision for 2 hours, which we legitimately could, but we're not going to do that. All right, so this is on the Orions Pleasure, plural Orions, and it's Anita. Eka's got the log this week.
Absolutely.
So whenever you're ready.
Personal record, Inore Eka, stardate 48674.5. The pleasure barge Rapture has docked at the station, and with it, her captain, a business acquaintance of Ohsron Eka, our previous host. It's been some time since we've seen each other, and while it'll be good to catch up with Ellerule, she may be more than a little busy. It seems Admiral Hebert and General Kargan have given their staff permission for a little R&R on board. And with the apprehension around this Orion Syndicate, I have to wonder why. Though, if Ellerule has been operating the Expanse for quite some time, her knowledge of the anomalies that have been plaguing both Starfleet and the KDF, along with any navigational charts she had, would be invaluable to both parties. But knowing her, even if Starfleet did have something she wanted, she won't part with anything more than she has to. So yes, time to go see her, I think. If not to try and recoup some losses after her arrival has made trade in the Galleria drier than the Yodozi Desert. End log.
And that evening, you are looking over your bar at Eka's place, and the whole place is deserted. What's his name now? The new supporting character.
Haddock.
Yeah. Tadek is looking at a pad, but looks up at you and says very matter-of-factly, "Are you bored?"
Terribly.
You look bored. And he looks very Vulcan and just goes back to his pad.
Inora's going to stand up, do the briefest of montages, getting dressed like she's going to go see that ex that you haven't seen in a while, and walks out of Eka's place a little bit more dolled up than she usually is.
All right. Would you like any of your staff to accompany you, like Tadok or any personal security, or you want them like just keeping an eye on things?
I think before Eka leaves, they'll sidle up to Tadok and just sort of extend it, proffer an arm. You look terrible, but it'll do.
He looks down at the arm and he's like, "What is this?"
You're going to accompany me, aren't you?
And he looks back down at the arm again, confused.
It's a human thing. Take my arm.
And he just grabs it with one hand, like your upper arm.
This is why I hired you to look good and intimidating and muscly, and not for the Vulcan logic that seems to have escaped you. Stand.
So he stands up.
I'll loop the arm in. Now, walk me to the rapture.
And he kind of very awkwardly just like begins to put one foot in front of the other, and as you follow him, he kind of gets the promenading idea. And as you walk through the Galleria, this huge, expansive Galleria, not the DS9 kind of cup, maybe 3 corridors wide. This is like multi-level. Like you've got some viewing panels up at the top that are looking down onto the brightly lit kind of sunrise of the planet below. And it's a kind of beautiful vista. All these different places, all these like, from Klingon like Gach bars to like all these different kind of Federation enterprises as well. No pun intended. Where but again, they're all like absolutely deserted. There's like 1 or 2 people kind of walking around that maybe they've had an appointment somewhere, or they need to just go and get some essentials from one of the stores. But for a kind of a weekend evening vibe, this is most definitely not how the Galleria should be. And so you make your way to the turbo lift down to one of the docking rings.
On the way, I'll stop and I'll grab a bottle of something old from the back of the bar on the way out, so that way at least I'm not arriving empty-handed when I meet Ellerul.
I feel like we need, and I wish I had the time to do all these little tables. I feel like we need an alien beverage like randomizer.
Oh, I can work on that for you.
This is
like Andorian
this is an old bottle of Aldebaran whiskey.
Aldebaran whiskey, awesome! I love it. In a weird bottle, presumably, like long spirally thing. Maybe with two little like hoses, so that you're meant to like fill up 2 cups with it or something.
Is it like old like old port, like old wine, like it's good, or is it old like past due and you're just?
Oh no, it's not past due. Eka is definitely not trying to offload substandard merchandise. I'm trying to impress.
Okay, cool. And once you arrive at the docking ring, the big docking bay doors are open to the Rapture. And the closer you get to the actual docking bay door, the more you see there's foot traffic. People coming and going, people leaving, drunk, somehow intoxicated, people looking at them briefly, half of them judging them, half of them jealous of them, getting on board the Rapture. And as you walk through onto the Rapture, the atmosphere is absolutely intoxicating. There's different environmental areas where there are, in fact, even just different weathers going on in this part of the kind of expansive, central corridor that leads off through much larger antechambers, through to the kind of pleasure suites, where you might enjoy an intoxicating beverage or similar. But also, there's just so many off-duty Starfleet officers, so many of the kind of civilian population of the station have come here as well, and there's a huge, almost festival-like atmosphere here as you head on through. Further down that like central walkway, you actually spy an off-duty Lieutenant Harvey. Harvey, what are you here for? What in particular are you looking for in terms of the pleasure barge? Is it just curiosity, or are you wanting to like find a particular pursuit, maybe something in a hollow suite?
I like to think that a lot of it is just curiosity. He's probably never seen a ship quite like it before. So not only with the technical specifications of the ship, but just general curiosity on how people just like, what people find fun and stuff like that. And he's very much just kind of just wandering around, just having a look, just looking at all the different types of people going around, and he's probably like quietly in a corner somewhere just having a look around. And occasionally we go to a console and just tap it just to have a look at something, and It's a cross between looking how the specs of the ship works, how it all transfers and stuff, how to get the different areas and transfer the energy, and just pure social curiosity of just how people spend their spare time, really.
All right. So as you tap a console, an Orion woman speaks up, and she says to you, on one of the sector's best pleasure barge, and you're looking at hull plating?
Well, it's just fascinating. I've never really been up this close to this type of ship before. You know, it's not often I get a chance to examine an Orion ship, you see. And I have so how do you get all the energy? So you know, with all the different, I've noticed that you've got different areas of the ship that require different energies. How do you do that, but still maintain basic system function? Because it seems like you're using way too much energy that a ship should have. You wouldn't happen to know how you do that, would you?
I'm afraid I don't.
Oh.
There are far more interesting things on this ship than just its hull plating and its EPS manifolds.
Oh, okay.
And she takes your arm, like loops your arm this time.
Hi.
And she starts leading you through the main corridor.
Okay, yeah, I'll go. I'm not gonna.
She walks you into a kind of grand, almost ballroom type thing, I guess, with large kind of Orion tapestries, these beautiful drapes hanging down in kind of big, long banners from the ceiling. There are literally just trays and trays of drinks on little kind of almost like grav lift type things. They're just floating around. And as drinks are being taken off of them, drinks are being like the replicator are being materialized back onto them. And then people are making requests for different drinks and stuff like that. And it seems that every single thing, no matter how like niche or hard to get those things are, they materialize onto the trays. There's a huge, in the center, a huge circular buffet of all sorts of different foods, and you note particularly a distinct kind of Klingon feel as well to a lot of them. Some of the food's wriggling, and some of it looks quite fresh. And there are a lot of Klingons here who are enjoying themselves. And Eka, you can join as well into this main kind of ballroom area. And towards the top of the room, near those big Orion banners, Eka, you spot Ellarul, and she is in a beautiful black dress with a long flowing black cape behind her, and she's got that kind of, you know, determined, dauntless face that you always remember, and she is speaking to a couple of Klingon, I don't know, I would say quite high-ranking Klingons, you would imagine. But yeah, you can also see Harvey a little bit out of his depth and looking at probably aghast at like the drinks tray as well.
I think I'll walk past Harvey and I'll say, you want that one. That one might be a little spicy for you.
Thank you.
And then I'll sort of walk up. Is the lady of the house available to have a chat?
And she turns around to you and she looks at you. And it's a strange feeling. Having been a business acquaintance of one of your previous hosts, you are looking, there's that internal sense of looking for recognition from her, but there's a kind of blank expression on her face, but it's a kind of interrogating expression. And she says, well, that depends who is asking for me.
Well, it's Eka, of course.
And she smiles a little and she says, Eka. And which one are you now?
Inore. Unu Ohsron.
Nora. Welcome on board. And what are you doing now? This
Oh,
new incarnation of Eka.
the same thing I always have. I run the local establishment here on the station.
Still doing business, I see. How very
Always.
convenient of you to be relinquished of all your debts from your previous host, and yet going back into business with all the experience and perhaps some
Oh.
assets that you had before.
I always pay my debts.
And
As
she
you'll
just looks
remember,
at
in
you.
fact, I think you actually owed me last time I checked my ledgers.
I'll have to recheck mine. Well, this is new, and she kind of gestures around to the barge itself. And how are you finding the rapture?
Quite exhilarating, actually. It's very you.
I thought so. And are you here permanently on the station?
More or less.
Excellent. It's intriguing, the state of it. How the Federation and the Klingons, she looks over at some of them, are working together in some kind of little joint outfit.
This makes good sense.
I have never known the Klingons to share anything.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense for them to work with the Federation than, I don't know, anyone else that's operating in the Expanse. Present
I don't
company
know.
excluded, of course.
Well, I'm not working with the Klingons.
No, but you could. Maybe you could work with the Federation too, if you like.
Intriguing. I do have some very good and valuable acquisitions here in the Expanse. More of the rare element kind.
Yes, a very chatty medical officer was telling me when she came into my establishment that something about what was it? Something about an alien signal close to the Carina Nebula and some ore, perhaps?
And she pauses, and you know her well enough from your previous host that this is disguising something. But she has a very good poker face. The tell is the pause. And she looks away and she says, well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Of course not.
I could do with someone who has connections here. Starfleet or
Someone
Klingon.
to, I don't know, liaise a business deal?
Maybe provide me some brokership through into the rest of the Federation and the Klingon Empire from the Expanse.
For a modest fee, of course.
Of course, we can all work out the details.
Always. Well, it seems that Ohsron had this lying around, and I seem to recall it being your favorite.
And she just reaches over and takes it. She's, oh, how lovely. Come back to me later, and hopefully we can have a chat about that brokership.
Maybe we'll share that.
Meanwhile, back in the office of Admiral Hebert, Burrell and Ohsron, you are being briefed as Admiral Hebert is currently handing over some pads and flicking through a couple of the screens on her panel, the kind of just behind her desk. to show you a couple of diagrams, and you can get a little bit of a readout on the barge in particular. She begins speaking to you. So the both of you, I would like you to entreat with Ellerul. I think the Orions have an advantage over us here in the Expanse. I believe that they have some kind of telemetry, some understanding of the spatial anomaly that we don't have yet. And that kind of information could really enhance our exploration of this sector. Now, I'm very dubious about dealing with the Orions, but perhaps, Ohsron, you can figure out what they might want from us, or what we might have that could help them in this sector. Burrell, hopefully you'll have some insight. Perhaps you can figure out or get some insight from them based on what they say of what their operations here are in the sector and really what they're up to. I have my full suspicions that this is a syndicate ship in some variety, but as ever, the Orions plague us with seemingly legitimate trade, and it's valuable trade, I'm not going to lie, both for us and the maintenance of the fleet and this station, but also to the parties and the systems that come here and they trade with us here, and they have been trading with the Expanse. The station is seeming to become a bit more of a nexus for people to move in and out from, or a node that they can use for this kind of thing. And Starfleet Command wants to encourage that and the cultural expansion of the Narendra Station. So at the moment, we need to keep up appearances with the Orions. That's why we've let them on board. Do you have any misgivings about that?
Burrell pulls a face to be like, I don't trust the Orions, Admiral. I'm not gonna be around the bush. I don't trust them. As you said, there's always an ulterior motive with them. It makes me wonder why they so readily agreed to come here.
They approached us. But yes, exactly. The timing is interesting.
Ohsron just kind of looks over at Burrell and he's like, stop being such a concerning worrywart. Jeez whiz. Like, they just want money. They're here to do trade. They're here to like look. And I kind of show a picture of the gallery, and it's just like empty. Like they're the thing right now. Like, we're missing out. You can see a tab open on my pad that's got like a drink menu on the barge. And yeah, he's like, Ohsron is just like doubling down on kind of like, from a Federation point of view, it's like, I don't have to necessarily worry about what Starfleet is like concerned with for trade, but I mean, like, trade is trade. Sometimes it's just worth it to dive in.
Well, dive in you shall. I mean, as soon as you're ready, head straight over to the barge and try and seek out Captain Ellerul and see what her operations are here in the Expanse, and see if you can obtain the spatial phenomena data from her, or any star charts or anything that will help us navigate.
Ellerul, I heard that name on a very recent mission. The plan with the signal, with the mining colony, or the mining operation. She was overseeing that. It was her mining operation.
She pulls up the report and she says, and there's like a little search for it, and she finds the keywords. Oh yeah, yes.
We didn't shut that down, right? We left it alone because it's non-Federation space. We just...
Well, the Federation Council asked the fleet to bring it back, and so the Venture managed to excavate a couple of the columns via mostly via the teleporters, and they managed to bring it here. And so we've got a couple of them in sciences, and the doctor's taking a look at it now, and hopefully that will give us some idea.
Fair, but we didn't interrupt the mining part of it. Like we left her crew alone. Basically, I just want to make sure we're not going into like something where we're gonna step through and like, great, Starfleet, just another thing to ruin for us. I don't want that. That's not a way to start the conversation. I'd rather be like, hey, we were able to help you.
Yeah. Out of character, the only people I dusted were Romulans. I left the Orion people alone.
I'm gonna give you a yeah, you did look.
Well, Elorul is here and not with the Romulans, so maybe that tells us something. Hopefully. Okay, make your preparations. You don't have to dress up necessarily, but it might be a good idea. And she's not looking at Ohsron at that point.
And Burrell's like, ugh.
And Burrell's like probably like proper, like not scrubs, but like proper, like, duty uniform,
Oh,
sleeves
yeah,
rolled up. It's been a day already.
Yeah, yeah. She's got a little bit of like plasma goop on her cheek or something, from being
plasma goop.
I don't know, in a Jeffrey's tube all day.
Yeah. I want to know what plasma goop is. That's fantastic.
It's great for the skin.
Constantly, that's the question. So, what is that? That's what I am always at. Like, what? Then I go to touch.
You just get slapped. All right, I'll meet you at the barge in 15.
All right, cool.
Nest.
Within like 15 minutes, Ohsron is at the bar waiting and is like just decked out. Like in 15 minutes, just looks like gold. Like you walk through a replicator. And essentially that's in my mind what I do. Like I have one kind of built in the door frame. Like I just walk through it and it just dresses me as I go through it.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
cool. Yeah, no, I love that. All right.
It's like because of its set settings, it's advanced. Like it's set only to certain specific things, right? Like so it can only dress, do my hair. That's why it's always looking fresh, even though it is not right now.
Heading into the like the docking through the docking ring. Burrell, you see, and well, you both see, and you both will know, Lieutenant Olok, the Klingon side of the security force here on Narendra Station, and aside from the inebriated patrons of the barge leaving the docking ring and a few people entering, you're aware of the security, and it's been amped up a little bit, particularly on this area of the docking bay, the docking decks. And Olok gives you in particular just a kind of like a curt nod, as a kind of like, and he's on the lookout, like he is in full on duty mode.
Yeah.
And looking disapprovingly at the Klingon party who are coming out like really hammered on blood wine.
I think Burrell
like
gives him a nod
other.
back, but she's kind of like trying not to draw attention to herself because she's wearing like very human clothing. So she's got like a off the shoulder dress thing going on because it's Star Trek and EXJs, and it's in like gold lamella or some shit because also Star Trek. And the most horrible fabric she've ever seen. But to keep it Klingon, she does have like a bracer on the other, the exposed arm. She's got like a little bracer on to keep it.
I like
so
that.
Yeah, but so she's like kind of low-key mortified that she's dressed up. But she's like gives him a curt nod back as if she's in full uniform.
Cool. All right.
Ohsron is like so impressed with what Burrell is wearing. Oh yeah. But loses like the minute we walk in, all my attention immediately goes to Tadak. Like, and it's just like that standing drool for a good minute before, like I don't know. I'm assuming Burrell would know enough to be like, yeah, sorry,
You with us? Is he present?
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Where's that? God, he's not fair. Where's the bartender? And as one walks by, he grabs an Orion tropical wave right off the, just kind of like, and does it like it up, and it's just there. Yeah. Last down.
Beautiful. Yeah. All around you is all you could ever need: entertainment, very scantily clad Orions of all genders walking around as eye candy, inviting people into hollow suites, inviting people in to try and get them to gamble, all of the kind of little sins and stuff that they want to get people to try and part of their money is around you. But ahead, further into the pleasure barge, is the like grand hall that were described earlier, and that's where most of the like patrons seem to come in and out of that, but there seemed to be more of a like senior staff thing to it. A lot of the proprietaries of the stores and the bars and stuff are here as well, so all the kind of movers and shakers of the station and the immediate sector around the station are in this party. This is a very swanky affair. All four of you are here now, and Elarul is towards the top, around near again some more kind of buffet tables, not so scantily clad Orions. So yeah, who wants to bargain first? I guess.
Burrell kind of gives the like nod to Ohsron, like,
oh yeah, right. I'm up. Okay, he fixes his hair, and he grabs a Nimbus Cranberry Killer off the next waiter that walks by, and this one he'll like it's like a nursing drink, like it's to make sure that his hands aren't empty, and he'll walk towards where Eka and the lady of the house are talking. Just as like he's trying to time it where it's you can see somebody like the conversation is about to end, and so he's trying to like time it so that he doesn't interrupt anything. He wants to catch Eka and Tadok as they walk away, and be able to like get to the lady before someone else beats him to it.
It's probably when the bottle gets handed off.
Yeah.
Do you mind if can I roll to gain some momentum for the group as we kick off?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to use presence and command?
Yeah, that works.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to kind of like, make your presence known, get a little bit of clout, a little bit of schmoozing here. So we'll make this difficulty 0, and any successes you get, we can add to the momentum pool, just to give you
Can
guys.
I assist by just sort of loudly saying, "Ambassador"?
Oh, nice.
Absolutely, yeah, for
Do you
sure.
mind if I use a negotiation as a focus?
That's perfect. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's just setting up for one. So there's 2 successes for yourself, and then with the assist from Eka.
I'd like to also use a sort of a focus and persuasion to sort of draw
Yeah,
the
sounds
attention
great.
that way.
Yeah, presence and command.
Okay.
It doesn't. Oh, you need to select the.
Wait 1 sec. I did. Oh, never mind. I did not. Presence. And that's my fault. And I'll try that again.
Okay.
1 success.
Nice.
3 successes in all gets you guys a little bit of ground and some momentum for the scene as well.
I do hand one of those Nimbus Cranberry Killers to Morel and give you like a no, you're gonna drink that as I walk away. Don't put it back. I kind of watch for Eka and to walk up, and as Eka and Tadok walk by, I smile at Eka and I'm like, kind of do like a thanks, and then to Tadok I just kind of like I try not to look like a goofy kind of like.
I kind of do that,
sure
that quick like that smooth like so good to see you, and then I walk back.
And to Tadok I just say it's agreeable to see you again, Tadok. And
he just so like matter of factly just says "and you" and just walks off.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually he says
says
he says "I am walking Eka," and then he like walks off.
I turn back to Varel and I give her one of these. Like no clue whether or not that worked or not, but he answered, so I'll take it.
Burrell is just taking the biggest sip of the drink you've ever seen. Like
that's 4 more words from Tadok than you're used to.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
Yeah, exactly. He knows my name. Okay, so to the lady of the house, um, I introduce myself. Ma'am, your ship is incredible. I'm Ambassador Ohsron, representative for the Andorians and the Federation.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much for docking and inviting us all to imbibe in your uh, luscious abode.
Of course, of course. It was pertinent of me to see my new neighbors here in the Expanse.
Are you here permanently then? Like, is this become kind of like your section of the trade routes?
I have made it my section, if that's to mean anything. I have several operations out here in the Expanse, and yes, currently trying to garner some routes into more of the Alpha Quadrant from the Expanse.
Routes are good to have. May I? Oh, go ahead.
And yourself, what's your business here then? The ambassador to the Andorians and the Federation.
Oh, I mean, it's just cool to be here. Let's be honest. I mean, the Expanse is filled with wonder, new things to learn, new things to explore, maps to be made.
And she's like kind of she's looking you up and down, and you get that kind of, examined feeling as she's talking
so I'm
to
gonna,
you.
if I need to, I'll blow a momentum that we just gained right now to make sure that I know. I'm trying to play the Tim isn't always the best negotiator, so I'm trying to play I know that I'm playing the coy, but we both know that's not what it is. It's more about being polite and not like setting up appearances because I think you're up to no good. More about the respect, the fact that you know more than we do, and I know that. So I'm not setting up any kind of like expectations of like we're better. I'm trying to show that like we know she knows stuff, and I want to know how to get that from her appropriately without
Yeah,
being
absolutely. Let's roll this out. Because
okay?
even if we could have fun role playing all night about it, we haven't got a lot of time. So yeah,
And I
so
get
the
it.
negotiation of like trying to navigate this like negotiation, which is blatantly going to apply for your focuses.
Yeah,
Um,
fantastic.
you're trying to figure out how you get these star charts and stuff off of her, and maybe negotiate how we can actually do that. She is going to try and just probably figure out a little bit more about why Starfleet are here, what they're kind of doing, and how far they've got into the expanse and that kind of thing. So if I succeed, we'll roll off against each other. So if I succeed, that's what really she'll kind of be able to glean from the conversation. She'll have a little bit more info on you guys.
And just to like lower the difficulty, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not holding anything back. Like in my mind, there is no reason to be deceitful about any of this.
Sure.
Beyond like obviously I wouldn't share anything secured that I would know. I suppose that.
I'm going to, so this is both going to be difficulty 1 for both of us, and so if we succeed, well, then we'll check each other's momentum and see how much we each succeeded, and see if there's a winner.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna use my untapped potential talent, and I'm gonna use one of the momentum to give myself an extra dice. So
okay. I'm gonna spend 3 threat and add
come on
2 dice to this roll.
So with untapped potential, whenever I succeeded a task for which they bought one or more additional dice with momentum or threat, they may roll 1 delta. The character receives bonus momentum equal to the roll of delta and adds 1 point to threat if an effect is rolled. Character cannot gain any higher rank as the other. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here I go. Run button. Here I go. Okay.
3 successes. All right. So you've succeeded with 2 momentum, and I'll do my roll. And because of because the barge itself has these pleasure suites, she's also actually going to be assisted by her ship. Because she's got all this awesome alcohol and all this kind of stuff for you. So, yeah, for sure.
You're rolling 5 dice. Oh, come on!
She's rolled 5 successes, and then the barge itself is going to roll. That's a 19. It's not a complication, but that hasn't helped her, even though you've been very taken aback by all the amenities on the ship. So she's rolled 5 successes, which beats you by 2 momentum. So I'm going to bag that 2 threat, and I am going to succeed. Yes. So throughout part of the conversation, really, she kind of gleans that the Federation hasn't really explored all that much. They're having some difficulties navigating. And that kind of thing, because you're not holding back about that kind of information. And so with this kind of upfront chat, she looks quite pleased. So you've definitely made an impression on her, but you unfortunately don't walk away with the promise of star charts or any more kind of telemetry. She just puts it down to Orion ingenuity and just a good bit of good luck.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'm gonna at that point like quit while I'm ahead or not losing, and kind of back away and let others kind of swarm at the moment. And I'll see if I can do a scan of the room to see if there's like a junior attaché, then I might have a better chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a little look for some more Orions that you could try and work and try and figure out a bit more information before negotiating again at some point in the future. Eka, I want to jump back to you again, as after a good period of time here, enjoying yourselves and enjoying the amenities, Ellerol pulls you aside and she says, "It's a very interesting discussion with the ambassador. It seems the Federation haven't made as much of an inroad here as I thought they might."
Showed you the hand, did he?
Was that a technique, or is he just that bad?
Oh, he's actually quite good. But maybe your presence knocked him a little off kilter.
What?
You have that effect on people.
The rare elements I spoke of earlier. If we both want to profit from this, it seems we have a very what's the Andorian hockey phrase? An open goal?
Don't really follow it. That's more chief petty officer's thing.
Oh. Well, what kind of percentage would you be thinking of? And again, she's gonna like begin this negotiation.
Well, I mean, I don't get out of bed for any less than 30%.
She almost chokes on her. What was it? Was it like a brandy? I think.
It was an Aldebaran whiskey.
The whiskey. She almost like chokes on the whiskey. 30% is what I'm giving the syndicate. And you would know her as a member of the syndicate.
Oh, yeah.
Not every Orion is. There are some legitimate ones.
So once per mission, I can draw memories from his former symbiont. I would like to draw former memories from Ohsron, who has knowledge of the Orion Syndicate, so I'll gain the focus in that.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps if I can bargain them down.
I also recall that, if I am correct, that you did manage to talk them down in the past.
Perhaps if I can. Perhaps then you can take the remainder. But there would go nothing lower than 20%.
I mean, we are, after all, old acquaintances. We've done business before. You know my work. You know that I'm reputable. A lot more reputable some other sources that might be sent your way. And I could possibly be convinced to cut it down to 20%.
You definitely have Eka's tenacity. I'll give you that. All right, it's rolling time.
Heck yeah.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
I am going to roll 1 extra d20.
Sounds good. I am.
You've got a couple of
What?
momentum in the pool right
We
now.
have a couple of momentum in the pool right now. Okay, and I do have the focus in my focus in the Orion, like in
Mhm.
Orion Syndicate operations, apply in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna buy an extra die. We have 2 momentum, correct?
Yeah, so you would have just spent 1.
So if I before I bought the one with momentum, would I be able to buy a die with threat and then spend 2 momentum for the second die?
Hmm?
Okay, so I'll buy one with a single point of threat, and then I'll buy an extra die with the momentum, with the last 2 momentum. So I'll be rolling 4 dice.
All right, here's mine.
Sounds good. And this is Presence Command, or in?
Yeah, definitely presence. I would take a different department, a division, if you.
I've got security, engineering, presence. Maybe security, to just try and do that sort of like, I'm a reputable business person, you're a reputable business person, let's, like, it's a lot safer to do it with me than someone else.
And also the approach of, like, I know the syndicate and I know that you've talked them down before. You've got that. It's almost like approaching at it from a kind of security position, I think. That's cool.
For sure. It's more like a espionage kind of thing.
Right?
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Here's my roll. 3 successes.
Ooh. We're tied. Okay.
Eyes go to the defender or to the.
I think it's usually like the defender. So what I think I'm gonna say though is that, like, I'll consider the offer. If I can get the syndicate to agree, then we have a deal. How about that?
All right. Tell you what. Knocked out a 15% on my cut.
Wow, that is interesting.
Come on. We're an old friend.
She's kind of like beckoned over. She's, one of her attendants or guards, you're not quite sure, are trying to get her attention. So she looks over, then she looks back to you and she says, I'll be in touch. And then she just kind of like waltzes over to the group that are trying to get her attention. When I'm going to spend 3 threat.
Okay.
And for all of you, there's a bit of a flicker with the lights, the power systems. One of the replicator trays falls to the ground, smashes, and there's immediately like a kind of like volume dip in the thing. There's like quiet for just a second, and then it like starts creeping back up.
Problems?
Well, so you're looking around. The Orions are looking a little concerned. But Harvey, this is most definitely a bit of a fluctuation in their like EPS grid. So something's happening with their power that's gone funky.
Okay.
That was your hook.
So Harvey goes over to the chief, where she's standing by, and he's going over and he's got some sort of cake in his hand, and you'll probably recognize it as some sort of Klingon cake. It's probably got, it's there, but it's got quite a thick kind of cream in it. There's kind of like, because everything with Klingons to do associated with blood and everything, so it's probably like a thick red or something. And he's just there, kind of goes up. It's a bit unusual, Chief.
Fluctuation.
Hmm.
She just
mean,
looks at you
Do
like
you
eating
pull out
this
a
cake.
bone?
A bone. Yes.
I mean, it is Klingon. There's probably something wriggling in it at some point.
You know you're supposed to eat that bone.
That was a bone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
And she looks at you deadpan, and she has this drink in her hand, right? And it's like a Caesar, for those who know what a Caesar is, but it's like so spicy that you can
You see
smell the
when you want one?
spice.
Yeah.
You can smell it coming at you, and she's just stood there, and she gives you the most deadpan look like you've ever seen. I can't believe that you would just dishonor my culture like that right in front of my face, Harvey.
Inore sort of walks up. Yeah, you're definitely supposed to eat that bone.
That's going on your record.
Chief, I didn't.
She laughs and like punches his shoulder. You're right. So, fluctuation. What do you think?
Right, yeah. I don't know. It could be that someone's drawing too much energy from one of the other holosuites, or maybe it's the expanse that's doing it. We don't. I mean, if I could get to a console, I could check it out.
She has a little.
It's at that second that the power, so the music drops, the lights drop, kind of like this. And there's again quiet. There's some kind of like there's a couple of breaks of glass. There's like people kind of looking at each other. There's a bit of chatter, and you hear Ellerall say, "Everyone remain calm, please. I'm sure it's nothing." And then the whole ship shakes. There's like a kind of not the like we're going left or we're going right, but there's kind of there's like there's a camera shake, and everyone's just a little bit uneasy on their feet. And there's a kind of Harvey, you can hear a creaking coming from the ship itself as well. And then an undeniable, recognizable of like that wave of like energy.
What, similar from the planet? Fuck me.
And that is a perfect time for us to do our first giveaway. So friends in chat, if you want to bag yourself a copy of the Roll20 module for this game for Star Trek Adventures, then just type in !Roll20 in chat right now, and April will give us a winner. So that's just !ROLL20, and you can grab a copy of this here game on Roll20. And thank you for the raid as well. I don't know who's in. I don't know how many people are in. Please come up, join us on this beautiful, sexy Orion adventure, mischievous mystery where all the power's suddenly gone down and there's some anomalies suddenly occurring. So yes, Tom. So Harvey, yeah. So for Harvey and for Burrell, that undeniably recognizable like little energy wave you can just feel go through your body. It's so subtle. It's so like it's not as powerful in any way as it was on the planet, but you've got that same little feeling in your stomach as it just goes through you. You're just like, whoa.
There's like a look, I think, shared between them, and Burrell says, Karina Nebula.
I think so.
And then she like looks around, see if there's like a quiet spot, because I don't think Orions would be too keen on us poking around.
There's a few like glow orbs going up, like torches going on and stuff. Some of the Orions are starting to like march towards different places. They're starting to walk out of this hall, this like grand hall. They're walking towards the thing in the distance, and everyone can hear there's a bit of shouting going on, kind of like inebriated shouting as well, particularly back towards the docking ring that you guys all came on board from. But yeah, so people are apprehensive, and there's you can just sense there's starting to be a little bit of panic in the air as well.
Have lights come back on yet, or is there emergency lighting?
There's a bit of emergency lighting and torches.
Okay,
yeah, but nothing good for lighting us.
So I'm gonna look over at Burrell and Eka and Harvey, and I now have a Ferengi Brandy Blitz. I grabbed it as the tray was dropping, just right off the tray before it fell to the ground. I'm going to say that request Eka and Tadaka, if you would join me at the entrance. Maybe we can calm them down while you two can maybe help figure out what's going on.
Just 1 second first. And Eka's actually going to walk over to Elarul.
Elarul, it has been whisked away somewhere. So she's no longer in the hall.
Oh, that's problematic.
What's problematic?
Oh, I was just going to offer Elarul some assistance from, I don't know, some very good engineers.
Should we go find her, or should we help here?
We should probably help here first, I suppose. I'll use the bargaining chip that we've got a little bit later.
I mean, this might give us another one.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it's all very
Haddock?
nice.
That's
Might
it.
need
Might
a
be
Yes.
time
couple
to. It might be time to do the thing that you're good at.
And he
What-
just nods and he walks off.
Ohsron's voice cracks. What exactly is the thing he's good at?
Diffusing tense situations.
Doesn't he throw
that's
people
hard
out?
to believe it, it's too easy.
Yes. He's very good at it. That's one way to diffuse a tense situation.
I can't believe I'm actually blushing. My character is supposed to be blushing, but I'm the one that's actually blushing. Apparently, I have a crush on Tadok too.
Listen.
There you go.
I built a Vulcan himbo.
I'm full on like what kind of situations does he diffuse? Oh my god. Next character.
Okay. It's up to you guys.
Harvey.
You need to investigate. What are you
Harvey.
doing?
Gonna go.
You're with me. Let's go. We're gonna go to
Right.
where we felt that pulse come from.
Okay.
Like,
And I'm going to walk with Tadok to where the ruckus is happening.
They are in the same direction. So you're all headed
oh,
It's
Andy.
towards back towards the station, back towards the docking ring that you all came through, that little docking bay door. And
What?
as you head up to it, the ruckus is people trying to leave, and the doors are closed. Out the like portholes, but you know what I mean, out like the kind of windowed screens of the barge itself, as you would look out onto the station. The station lights are flickering sporadically, and some of the outer lighting is off. And it appears to be in a state of the powers fluctuating or powering down in some places.
Okay.
You can still hear that creaking in the ship, the barge itself. And as you get closer to the docking bay door, you feel heavier.
Huh.
So would I know is these
Oh.
anti-gravity things playing up or something
Yeah.
with that
Gravity's
creaking?
definitely a thing.
too much gravity. We need to put some back.
Would it?
All right, come roll me a reason. Roll me a
Engineering.
reason and engineering, please.
Okay.
This is going to be difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. Okay.
Yeah,
No problem.
I'll give you some basic information.
Uh,
I have no
don't really have a focus in like anti-gravity or anything like that. Is it a freighter that I'm on?
it's not a freighter, I'm afraid. It's a pleasure
Okay,
barge.
Yeah. I don't really have a focus. I suppose I could use composure, but it's not that stressful of a situation.
No.
So no focus. All right, I'll give that a go. See how that goes.
Could I assist him if we're talking through? We're passing track
Absolutely.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Got one.
insight, right?
Okay, so that's a success. And then
Ooh, 2.
Susie. Another, so that's a point of momentum. So you could ask me a question as well off the back of this too, using that momentum. So for the basic answer, yes, something is wrong with the gravity. Yeah, there is too much gravity. Put some back. It's too much gravity. And so because the hull is creaking, that's like a lot, and you're already feeling a lot heavier. It's a lot harder to move as you get to the docking ring bay door itself. And kind of people are kind of feeling that it's not as tough on the Klingons, But for sure, the sprightlier humanoids and humans as well, particularly depending on their build, it's like you feels more fatigued, more like hard to move, that kind of thing. That is a trait, by the way. So if there are any like physical activities you're doing, they are going to be a bit more difficult. Yes, the docking bay doors are closed. You are not getting off this barge easily.
We get a question, right?
We get a
You
question.
do, yeah.
I was wondering whether or not to ask. This is talking to Susie. Confer him whether to see whether it's the Orion pleasure barge gravity thing faulty or the stations or something completely different. Because if we find out where it's coming from, we could potentially fix it and solve it.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I don't know how to really a way for me to figure out how this.
I've got you an answer.
Yeah. Where's
yeah?
What would I assume would be what's the faulty system? Is it the pleasure barge gravity field? Is it the station's gravity, anti-gravity kind of whatever it is?
It's neither.
Okay, so
this is coming from kind of. I want to keep you guys on track. This is coming from a spatial anomaly.
Of course it is.
Always with the anomalies.
Just something in your gut says this is coming from a spatial anomaly.
Do I know that those pillars that we found were brought back on the station? Okay. Okay. Well, we could try manually opening the door. Every door's got a manual thing, but it'll be a
manual override. Yeah.
I probably.
Well, it's a good job. And then you see like the lighting, right? Hits Burrell's shoulder, and you see she's got some muscle going on. She's ready to up that door.
I mean, and if I can get my hand, if I can get to the I think it's the pillars that are doing this. It's the same as the pulse. So if I could get to the pillars, I could rearrange a phaser and do the same thing that I did last time.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we've got a bit more equipment rather than,
all that
desperately fighting for our lives in a mine shaft.
Can I use my presence in science to get people to move out of the way? Like my presence is like the kind of like the voice and the science, because I know from these two what's going on, and so I can use science to get people to like move rather than like orders and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I don't even I think need you to roll. So the you and the Vulcan guy, Tadok.
Paddock, would you mind help me out,
so
the Chief Petty Officer?
Oh yeah, okay. So he is going to assist. Anita, why don't you roll for him?
Absolutely.
And
I'm just going to lean in towards Eka and say thank you.
This is more for you than anybody else.
Yeah, it's not for the door.
I'm sure Burrell doesn't actually need the help, but
Tim, why don't you assist?
Security?
Yeah, that sounds good to me for Tadok. Tim, why don't you assist with like you said, presence and science to hold people back, and Burrell is leading this. It's going to be fitness, and it's going to be engineering.
Okay.
It's the door.
Could I use my focus in endurance, because I'm an endurance trained? I'm like shredded.
Absolutely. This would be difficulty 2. It's difficulty 3 because of the gravity.
Okay, what have we got? We got 1 success already.
Yeah.
You need at least 1 success in order to add those to your successes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Can I pop a door?
You've got no momentum. Do you want any more dice?
Paddock didn't help you.
He's pretty, but he's not right. He's not strong. Yeah, sure. I'll have an extra dice, Sam. Have some
Just
momentum.
The 1?
Threat. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
That's the 3 you need.
3.
And you managed to like creak open the engineering door. I'm going to steal it from DS9. I don't care if they're Cardassian. These kind of like rolling doors open up to the docking ring, and Ohsron you managed to hold people back from like just dogpiling through the docking bay doors, and so the way is clear for you guys to start making your way across. You can hear a little bit of like moving up and down the corridor, and as you step through, you see the Klingons are kind of looking around like, what the fuck is going on? But again, there's emergency lighting going on here. Sometimes there's a bit of lighting coming on at the end of the corridor, and then some of the panels are flickering as well on the side of the corridor. And Lieutenant Olok, where his name was, Olok, comes back up to you, speaking to Burrell mainly. Although Burrell's like the most highest ranking kind of ops person that's here. And he says, comms are down. We can't raise any other decks. Power's fluctuating. Does it feel heavier to you?
Yeah, there's something going on with the pillars we brought on the station after the nebula, the Carina Nebula. The same phenomenon we felt on the planet is happening here on the station.
Well, then we're going to need to get teams to science, and we can't raise them either, so we're going to have to get through ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's now a throng at the door of people trying to get through, and he just looks like past you to them, and then he looks back over to you and says, "We'll keep things under control here. You move on."
Got it. And Burrell's she's gunning it, like she's like hiking up the dress. She's running in her clacky heels.
Yeah. All right.
So we
are we going? Do you want us to come with you, Burrell?
Actually, she stops in place, like skids, turns around. Ohsron, if you could get to sciences, get a team down there for us. I can't remember what bay it is that the things are being held in.
Yeah, but it's on the science. There's literally just a sciences deck, right?
Yeah.
So just go to the sciences deck up above you.
Let him know. Can you get to the Admiral Hebert as well? Tell her, and like she's sweating. Tell her what's going on. We'll get a team up to sciences. Harvey and I will be there.
Okay.
And if you find Ella Rule, detain her somehow until we get a chance to talk to her.
Eka?
I can handle
that. Chief.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be able to use the turbo lifts to get to, not with the power fluctuations. So he kind of taps to the side and takes off a Jeffrey's tube kind of thing. It's gonna be a very painful, long climb.
Burrell just takes her heels off.
Yeah, I just say heels, and I grab them from you as you walk. Yeah.
And she stands there like, I'm not going first. I'm wearing a dress.
I'll lead the way. I think I remember. Okay. And then he'll climb into a Jeffrey's tube. And they just have to start climbing their way up to the science.
I'm just going to be a smartass. When Burrell goes in, I'm just going to be like, you kids behave as I walk by.
Burrell pokes her head out.
Yeah.
She's like...
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to get this right. We've got Starfleet heading up to sciences to get to the two of you to actually get to the artifacts.
Yeah.
Ohsron, you're trying to get to Ops to see if you can get to Admiral Hebert, figure out what's going on exactly there. And Eka, you are looking for Ella Rule, yeah?
Me and Taddock are looking for Ella Rule.
All right.
To see if maybe she has something to do with this, or has some information that can assist with this.
All right, cool. So I want then checks from the two Starfleet. I want to see how long this takes you. Bear in mind, remember that one of the momentum spends that you can do is reducing the time it takes for something to work for you. And then we'll do a separate check. Tim will do yours for Ohsron separately. So Lieutenant Harvey, you're leading because you're in front, right? So
definitely.
Cool. So Burrell is assisting. And so this is going to be fitness and engineering again. Okay. Any kind of endurance related focus applies. And as I said, so this is going to be difficulty 2, I think, because of the length, +1, 3 because of the gravity.
Did Harvey pass his fitness part of his Starfleet training, or is he just a little weed?
His fitness, okay. He didn't excel in it, but he passed it. All right, he did what he needed to do.
Either way,
Okay.
he's getting some pads on, and we're going to the holodeck after this.
Okay, so
how many dice do you want to roll, Tom?
It's gonna take so long. This is. I'd highly. How many do we need? Did you say? Successes? 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already failed one, Susie.
I have
Okay.
shut up. I'm in a dress, man. I don't know
You're
what
in
you
a
want from me.
dress. Yeah, use that excuse. I guess I use some I'd use my determination to get an auto succeed for 1. So I guess I'll do that.
Yeah. What value are you using?
What value? Oh, that's a good point. Oh, I don't think anything fits it, so I can't. I don't think anything
Okay.
fits in my values. I really don't think so. So in that case, I'm just going to give you threat instead. I want at least 2 dice.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
never
what's
mind.
up?
I was just
Okay.
going to say that we could also, if you don't have a value that applies, we could always invoke the mission directive, but I think the mission directive doesn't necessarily apply to this.
Yeah, mission directive. Well, yeah, mission directive applying to this is trying to get the information like the star charts and stuff from Ellerul. Doesn't apply, unfortunately. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The directives in our logs on our side of it can be used like a value. But Tim, you're absolutely right. So the you get 1 determination at the start of each adventure. So for us, start of each session, because I'm running trying to run one at a time. And then yeah, but they need to use a value or a thing. And you can also, folks, you can challenge one of your values to gain a point of determination. So you lose the use of a value, the one you want to actually challenge and reword at the end of the session, and then you reword it to like reflect what you've learned and how your character has changed. So if you run out of determination, you really need some, and you think you can challenge a value based on what's happening, you can gain one. Okay. How many dice do you want to roll? 4?
So I'm rolling 2 already, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Start off with. I would like an additional 2.
Cool. No problem. So I'll give me 3 more threat. Back to 8. Cool.
So I'm rolling
Just roll
4, yeah?
those 4 dice for me.
No focus. There we go.
That is
Got
the
an
3 you
additional
needed. Even a little
I got
crit there
4.
on.
Oh no, I didn't use my determination, did I?
No. So you got the 3 you needed. All right, cool. With no momentum, it means that scaling up the ladder is hard work, and it is hard work in this gravity kind of situation. But you just about managed to make it with a couple of breaks, and probably Burrell needs the breaks as well. As much as she plays the hard Klingon, actually, she's kind of relieved to have them, and so it's slow going. But you make your way up those turbo lift, the Jeffries tube shafts vertically in order to get back up to the sciences deck, which is around deck 3 somewhere, I think. Ohsron, we're up to you as well. So I'm going to need a fitness and engineering to make your actually, are you climbing up, or are you kind of trying to figure out a special way to try and get back up to ops?
Tim doesn't really have enough tabs to take a look. I don't know the layout. How high do I have to go? How many decks? Like lots? Are we talking stupid amounts, or is it like?
It's a good kind of 4 or 5 decks.
Do I know that Eka has like a secured system in her bar? Because I as an ambassador, there would be an officer.
Yeah.
I would have like a system that would be sort of like separate from the station in case of emergencies, right?
Yeah.
So can I just tap into my system? Because I'm assuming that we wouldn't be as high up as ops, so it wouldn't be as far a climb to have to get to where I need to go to my place, and then I could try and like tap into the ops from like a direct link, like the red phone kind of thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Narendra Station, and this is the deck plan. So yeah, level 1 is ops, but then the where are all the Oh, you probably have an office in ops on level 1 because of
So I'd
this
have to go up
administration
to-
stuff and stuff like that.
Never mind then. I'll just use fitness and security to climb the ladder. Right?
Yeah.
Can I use my focus and bojitsu?
Yeah.
It's for sure.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Absolutely. Absolutely. How many dice would you like to roll?
I mean, I got 2.
It's gonna be 3, difficulty 3.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else I can do. Wait.
You can spend your determination if you
What
needed to.
crisis management? I can use the direct task. I don't know what direct
So that's
task
like
is.
that's like
It's me
ordering other
directing
people
somebody
around.
else, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. None of my determinations work. Oh, I got determination making the best of the not best.
Absolutely.
I'll do that.
I love
So
that.
I'll score an extra. I'll score an automatic crit, and then I'll roll.
Yeah. That's
There you go.
4.
That's 4. So
Amazing.
one
So
momentum.
that's
And I'll
one
put the
momentum
momentum
for
in
you
the
guys.
pool for the next people to use.
Cool. All right. Lovely. So you managed to that training, that martial arts training has got you kind of like focused, and you can, do that ladder for a good while. And maybe even you managed to find a bit of a quicker way through the Jeffries tube system in order to get back up to ops. We're going to go back to Eka though, as Eka. Where do you want to? Well, so if you're looking for Elarul, the most logical place would be back on the barge. So, and I'm not going to lead you down a red herring, or a dead end or anything. So, if you head back to the barge, what's your kind of approach? Are you doing this via kind of people and hearsay, or are you actually doing some skulking around?
It's still, the lights are still flickering. It's kind of still emergency lighting only in this pleasure barge.
Yeah.
And all of the staff seems to have kind of scarpered.
Yeah, they're definitely in a state of mild panic mode, trying to
Okay.
keep people happy, entertained, while still being a bit worried themselves. The hull is still creaking, and you're still feeling very heavy and very, pulled towards weirdly towards the station, more towards the ground in a way.
Okay. I'm going to if it was a barge that I was running, I would know where my office would be. It would be somewhere where I could observe a whole bunch of different people. So I'm going to head in that direction, walking with purpose. Because if you walk with enough confidence in a place you're not supposed to be, eventually people will believe that you're supposed to be there. So that's what I'm going to do with Tada behind me. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out.
And I feel like that's a brilliant use of presence and security.
Absolutely.
Just playing that, that kind of I'm meant to be here situation. And now also your previous hosts' knowledge of the syndicate and stuff like that, you might vaguely know the kind of a rough layout of the pleasure barges.
It would be a place that would have probably a good exit just in case of emergency. It would be a place where you could sort of observe and see people coming, like that sort of deal. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm angling towards.
Cool. All right. So yeah, so this is just gonna be difficulty 1 actually, because I think you're able to kind of people are in panic mode. You're able to skulk around in the darkness a little bit. So when you don't have to be all kind of present, you can just.
And if someone calls me out, that's what I have the big Vulcan behind me for.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. 1 success.
All right. And so you managed to make your way to the kind of. It's a bit like. I imagine it's a bit like the old galleys, or actually kind of real ships, where it's up on the kind of quarterdeck at the back. So you go up a deck or two, and you're kind of in an area that's similar to like a bridge or ops, but it's a little bit more expansive and a little bit more decorative as well. But it's got panels and people on different system stations, and they're all kind of looking at what's going on. And around a kind of megalomaniac style, little round table with little displays and holographic displays, you see Ella Rule, and she's much more in business mode now. She is, as much as she's still in her dress and she's looking like she would entertain, she is very much like serious, kind of barking questions and orders. You hear her asking, what the hell is he up to? Why can't we raise the team?
Oh, would I? Ooh, here's the question. Do I want to give the GM more threat?
Yes.
It's late. It's late in the day, so let's give you some threat. So I would like to, at the start of a scene, you may add one threat to ask the game master 2 questions about the situation or location, as if you had spent momentum on it and obtained information spent.
Oh.
The answers that I receive will be knowledge that I've gained from my contacts and the news and rumors that I've heard. Who is Elrol working with these days? What circles is she running in? So if she says he and the team, who might she be referring to?
She is referring to her version of Tadok. And his name is Braxam.
Braxam?
He's an Orion male, but he's very much a fixer slash grifter, like someone who gets work done, even like kind of wet work stuff. And so he very much would be like her person to use or to call if in her employ, if she wanted to, do some serious spy shit, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. And so she's asking for him, undeniably. And yeah, why haven't we heard from the team? Which makes you think as well that like they're having similar system problems than you might imagine the station's having.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's your second question.
The second question is the idea that she can't raise him and there is a team that might also be out on a task that's not related to this. Are they perhaps operating on board the station?
Yeah.
Doing some side business?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Those are my questions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, sorry, is this a bad time?
She looks up for a second. She's still in like surprised work kind of barky mode, but then she kind of relaxes her shoulders a little bit and she says, well, my ship is, as you can see, having some trouble.
Yes,
It's not exactly
station
the
2,
most,
it seems.
apparently.
Interesting. From what I heard from our engineers, it was very similar to the energy displacement patterns that were occurring on the planet where some folks were doing a mining operation, and your name was mentioned. Interesting how that sort of connects.
And you want to tell me how you know about that? And she's got a disruptor pistol in her hand now. Sarcastic Kirk meme.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple now of like Orion guards around you with disruptor pistols.
Well, these Starfleet types, they don't know how to keep their mouths shut.
Well then. Unless you want to help me, the deal's off.
is it?
Why? What counter offer would you have for me?
Well, it seems you might know a little bit about these anomalies. It wouldn't be good business for you to operate in a place where these system disruptions are happening without at least gathering some intelligence on them. And of course, our scientists have been working on trying to figure them out themselves. I mean, unless you want the encrypted file that I set up before this to head to Admiral Hebert's office and let them know about how your team is currently working to, I don't know, potentially reacquire some of those assets that were lost from on the planet.
From my mining operation. Say it back to me.
From your mining operation.
So what now, Eka?
Well, now we can either work together to stop this, and maybe that'll earn you a little bit of good grace with the Federation and the Klingon Defense Force, because, listen, I know the Federation are a bunch of softies, but if the Klingons find out that you've got something to do with this, well...
And then at that moment, you hear a kind of garbled message patched through, and it's a male voice, kind of naturally vocally distorted. It's almost as if like he's trying to vocalize, and it's very guttural, and it's almost like he doesn't know like almost what syllable to actually decide on, and it's just almost scream like, but with kind of random intonations and kind of mouth shapes and stuff. It's a very garbled, weird message. It just in the end just kind of sounds like someone is screaming and kind of nondescriptly in terms of what they're actually trying to say. There's snippets of words, maybe syllables that come through the universal translator, but it's very weird. But it's not the transmission isn't garbled itself. It's this actual vocalization. They kind of stabilize it a little bit and they confirm that. Okay, back up to the Starfleet folks. As you manage to get through the Science's doors from the Jeffries tube, you kind of climb through into some of the labs, and you can see from behind a couple of the larger sliding doors that Burrell, having set up a little bit of this, and Harvey, you'll know, you would have heard a little bit about this from the kind of operations briefings. The artifacts, these columns, would have been set up behind a couple of like force fields. There's no evidence of those force fields now, and through those double doors you can see, and what you can see is past those columns, and they're kind of very, very dimly lit, and the gravity is much worse here. It's so heavy, you can really start to feel it now. Like the ache in your muscles is just so much more than you would be used to from what you've just done. And you know, Harvey, you can hear like the I don't know, like the crackle, the kind of pulsating energy that's being driven through the EPS conduits, and it's somehow funneling into that laboratory in front of you. And you can just make out, just off center behind one of the pillars, there is a tall, large figure, humanoid, in kind of a silhouette, in like a blue silhouette from the lights that are just flickering on from these. And you can hear screaming coming from inside the laboratory.
Okay. So just to get a picture of how this works now, right? So we've just come into this science lab kind of thing, right? the pillars in a different room to what we're in currently, or is it just
Yeah,
one
so
big room?
directly in front of you is kind of like a ring corridor
Yeah,
that's going to go around the labs, and then
yeah,
inside that lab directly ahead
got
of
ya.
you through those big double
Okay.
sliding doors that are open now. No force field stopping anything going in
Oh,
or out. There's that scene.
okay. Chief, I think someone's in there.
And Burrell's gonna poke her head through. She sees the big figure. Does she? Can you kind of tell? Like what sort of like alien species? If it is an alien species, do they have
Yeah,
like?
they've got the typical build and bald head of an Orion, and you think that they've got a little bit of the kind of green gleam from like um off their silhouette, off the lighting that's in there.
And she says quietly, "Damn Orions! I knew it." So she's we have to stop him. But then she
Okay.
kind of hears that screaming.
Or someone else is stopping him for us?
Yeah, we need to find something out. Do you have any weapons? Anything?
No, no. I mean, I could try and. Hang on.
Sam.
Yeah.
Could I have my my knife, my dick
dagger?
tug? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on a little like thigh
Little
garter.
ceremonial
Yeah.
ceremonial garter. Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll take it off. She hands it to Harvey. Sharp bit goes in them, not you.
Yeah, I am aware of how a knife works.
You can watch after that. And then we're gonna sneak up. Right, follow my lead. We're gonna walk quietly. I don't have my heels on, so I'm silent.
All right.
And Harvey's doing it, wishing he did leg day more.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you sneak up on the figure, and you can get right up close to them without alerting them.
Okay. So at this point,
and this person, even though their back is turned towards you, is screaming. Their voice is beginning to get hoarse now and break and crack, and it seems as though, and I'm not going to try and do it, but it seems as though like they are making lots of different noises, as if they're trying to vocalize something, and you get sometimes vague snippets of what you think is a syllable or a single syllabled word or something, but it's just moving so quickly and it's just so much that to someone not paying attention, it just sounds like a constant scream with kind of like gasp breaths in between.
Because we, time is a premium here, and we haven't got all day to stand here and be like, is it a sort of thing where, like, could we tell that they're trying to sort of like resonate with this artifact, or trying to like activate it with
no? So
or it's coming.
No. So as you examine them, as you actually walk around, you get a little bit more of their view, and you're basically standing right near them, I imagine. You can see that there is an Orion neural link plugged into the back of the guy's brain and is like plugged into the artifact somehow. So this guy is just screaming now, eyes rolled back, just like involuntarily, just like blah.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. With my 2 medicine, 3 medicine, in fact, would I know? Could I do like a check or something to see if I unplug this guy, would it like fry him or like just?
Yeah. All right. Roll me a quick reason and medicine difficulty 2, because it's a bit of an unknown technology as well.
Okay. We're just gonna.
Just gonna roll it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
The best.
Oh dang.
Okay. Well, you're honestly not sure, given the technology. You don't know much about these artifacts. You know vaguely about these Orion neural links. They do this often. They do this to literally like hack their way into like computers or through like doors and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to plug me into the it's a bit it's R2D2 with the little thing, right? They plug themselves in, they hack the thing with their brain, and then that's how Orions are so like quick at getting in and out of stuff.
All right. Well, and she cracks her fingers. He's here illegally. He's not supposed to be here. Get ready.
Oh, you
Gonna
can't just
grab-
pull the chief. Chief, you can't just pull the thing out of him. It could kill him.
I don't give a shit.
Chief, you can't.
That was Susie, by the way, not Chief.
Oh right.
So she's there with her hand on it. She's like, "Why?
You could kill him.
He could kill everyone on the station.
No.
If the gravity reaches the apex, then we will all be crushed to death.
Maybe
If that then affects life support systems, we'll all suffocate to death as we're being crushed to death.
Maybe I can reignite the force fields. If I find some power from these conduits, jury rig them to go to the force fields go up, maybe that stops it.
All right, you've got 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. I go to the nearest thing, see where the power's coming through. Just try.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
no
gonna
worries.
jury rig it.
Okay, yeah.
quick
I'm
as
going to come
possible.
back to you. I am going to jump over to Tim, though. I want to see with Ohsron, like, making your way up to Ops. So as you actually get through, probably, I'm going to say we open this scene with you, like, pushing these, like, sliding doors open and managing to get them open. And then there's, like...
looking butch as I do so. Channel your
Yeah.
inner doc, channel your inner doc, channel your inner doc.
And there's command staff like running around, like tapping on consoles, trying to, try and get power move, trying to figure out what's kind of going on. And over the command console, Admiral Hebert is looking pretty much straight towards you to open those double doors. And she says, "Ambassador, I'm glad to see you. What's going on?"
I fill her in that on our theory. I let her know that Harvey and Burrell have gone down to the science labs and they could use support. And I let her know that Eka has gone to find Alora. Look at Tim remembering. And then I kind of like I'm gonna like do like a quick run over to my console and see if I can use my emergency communicator on the console to do like a group chat.
Yeah.
See if it'll work so we can access communication. So I'll I don't know, biometrics unlock or whatever it needs.
Yeah. No, I want to give that to you. So like you managed to like reroute a little bit of power. You've got maybe like you've got a little isolated like power unit in there in case of these emergencies.
Yeah, I figure it
love
makes
this
sense,
idea.
right? So
So-
instead of using it for an emergency to reach out, I'll use it to reach in, and I'll kind of look over at the commander and be like, "You have access. Get to them right now."
All right. So she asks kind of what the hell is going on. She gets a kind of overview
Everyone at
from
once.
from Starfleet of that. She tries to get Lieutenant Olok up to provide some security to you up at the actual science labs. But I'm aware we're going to be wrapping up very, very shortly, and Tim, we're about to disappear at some point very soon as well. I want to ask Anita. So for Eka, like, what are they trying to do? What's their course of action at this point?
Eka is trying to leverage the information that they know that Elrul is trying to get stuff from the station covertly. Is trying to leverage that important piece of information into basically strong-arming Elrul into giving up the data and that sort of stuff to at least finish that portion of the mission.
Are you going to let us know that she's doing this yet, or because we could do a play of like Burrell and Harvey could disconnect and kind of like turn around and let them just like tuck tail and legs between their legs get off the station without any information, but play it like we know what you did, now you owe us kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think
that's
this
kind
is
of what I was angling towards.
I think this is a negotiation, and I'd really love the player characters to take the lead on it. So I imagine Ohsron is the one kind of like figuring out with Eka maybe what the bargain is, but coming at it from the Federation perspective. I think this is what Elrul, like on the crux of it, leaves you with. I want my artifacts that you took from my mining operation, and I'll give you the information on the spatial anomalies that you need to better navigate the Expanse. And she's doing all this while she's still got a disruptor pointed at Eka.
Okay. I think Eka will just sort of say, "That's all very well and good. Starfleet would be happy to hand you back these artifacts as soon as they're done with the studying, and sharing the information, of course, would be part and parcel of that. Do you really want your people looking at this, or do you actually want the best people in basically the entire quadrant looking at this?"
All right, so what we're going to do, one final roll. I am going to spend all 6 threat to roll 5 dice for Elrul. She's not got the assistance of her ship this time. It's all powering. It's all gone funny power. So I want a nice group task to see if we can negotiate this. But I think Ohsron is the one, maybe. Oh no, Eka is the one kind of like leading this task, right? This whole negotiation.
So I'm going to call upon a value. 8 lifetimes of business acumen.
Beautiful. That actually reminds me. I am gonna, so instead of spending the 6 threat to just roll the dice, I'm gonna spend 3 to invoke never trust Orions ever from Elrul. Or don't get between me and my ship or my crew.
Okay.
Which is something that she'll kind of say during the course of the negotiations as you're trying to figure out this stuff. It's basically like kind of like, don't get between me and my stuff. There's some conversation about we'll unplug your guy, and she's like, don't get between me and my crew. You don't do that. So I'm going to spend the 3 threat to do that. So that was 9 to 6, and then I'm going to spend the 2 plus the 3 more, so that's 5 more in order to add the 2 more dice. So
okay.
I'm going to add the 2 successes that I would score from the value used, and I'm going to roll the rest of these dice and see what we get. So I'm using.
Okay. Can I challenge a value?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm going to challenge. I was 12th on the list because I think this specific episode, Ohsron has realized that this is where he's actually digging being here. Like, this isn't just like a job anymore. He's got a crush. He's got friends. He's got Eka, whatever she is to him. And I don't mean that in a smart ass way. Just more like, we haven't really established that, right? So, but he kind of loves it, and I think that I was 12th on the list no longer applies to him.
Cool. You get your point of determination. So if you want to use that determination point to just have your dice be a 20, be a 1.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's going to be a 1. So I'm just giving us a group success crit right off the bat with that. And
awesome.
Then I think I'll have to redo that value.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so then Eka, they will roll a regular task, so you can add as many dice as you want.
Okay, so I will invoke 8 lifetimes of business acumen to try and talk through this. I'm going to try presence in command for the roll, and we have 1 point of momentum, right?
Yeah.
So I'll buy an extra die with that, so I'll roll 3 on top of the auto success that I have.
Ooh, Eka, she got a 20.
Ooh, complications.
I did. I rolled a 20.
Okay, so my focus in Orion Syndicate operations does apply? Okay, awesome. I'm going to roll.
And you're adding 2 to that, aren't you?
Yep. So that's 4
So
successes.
I scored 4, and you scored 4,
7.
and then I...
5.
5, 6 from... Yeah.
You got 2 from me.
Yeah. So I think that's 2 momentum. Moving 3 momentum. I don't know. We're closing the session. There's math involved, and you have 1. Okay, so the disruptors get lowered slowly, and Elrul kind of like whips her hair back a bit, and then she says, "I will deign to allow you to inspect my property. But I'm coming back for these artifacts." And she says to Eka quite, quietly, there's profit in it, you realize.
Of course.
Over drinks later, Ohsron is just like with Burrell and Harvey, and she is so like he's just enamored with her. Like she's so like I just want to be her. And he's drinking. I got my last drink here. He's got a Nepenthes Prime Holy Enigma. No idea what it is, but that's what he's got, and he's just like sipping it like it's a fine wine. But he does like one of those, you know, that he doesn't like it, but he's drinking it because it's like it's classy. So he'll take a sip and it'll get that like that face, and then he'll swallow and take another one. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, Ella Rule, we've got you over a barrel. Let's do this business, and I think we'll make a deal.
Right, nice. Yes, with the pleasure barge gone, Eka's place is, you know, back up to its usual standard of clientele and the amount of people in there, and all of you enjoying a drink. As we've had Ohsrons, is there any other like parting words from anyone to each other about what happened? Any way you want to close off the session?
Burrell is back in her uniform, and she sat very like that was very uncomfortable. She sat at the end of the booth, I think, and she's like got a cup in both hands.
But do you know what would be a typical Star Trek closing little thing? Is the camera just panning down, and like she's just like wearing her heels, just
she's
like
sat
in
with
the
her
bar
ankles
or
crossed.
something. Yeah. Some giveaway thing.
One thing that I'd like to sort of do before the end is I'd send to Doc to Ambassador Ohsron for I heard that you do what was it, Akajitsu?
Ambojitsu. Yeah.
Ambojitsu. Tadak actually is well studied in the Vulcan martial art of where is it? Of Susmanha, and I think that you might actually like having a sparring partner around. So here, I'll set them up on a date.
It's just like not even invitation.
As a thank you.
It's just an itinerary for a holosuite session. It's just like it's a time and a day for a holosuite session, and it's just got this program, this like martial arts program loaded.
Yeah, so that's what that's how Eka will close the session with the ambassador.
I have a gift for Harvey when he goes back to his quarters. On his bed, there's just a mouth guard.
The hell is this?
You were told.
Next session is episode is 100% opening with like 2 different holodecks, like juxtaposed with each other. There's like date holodeck, and then there's like training holodeck. Okay, well, all right. Well, that was on the Orion's pleasure. We're ready for training next session. Thank you so much, everyone. Tim, if you have to jump, by all means. Where can we find you before you leave?
I do. I'm sorry. I have to go back to work. I'm at my red job right now. So you can find me on thegmtim.ca, on social media, well, on Instagram at thegmtim, and if you want to come play D&D with me in a castle, I still have seats from November 10th to 14th in Durham County, Newcastle. So I'll be there in November. So if you want to come play, do so. dndinacastle.com. Love you all. I have so much fun playing this. I'm sorry, I really have to go. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. And before we go around with everyone else, I'm sure that I can hear my inner April telling me that we need to do another giveaway. So we've got another giveaway, right, ready to go. So if you haven't already, if you're still here with us, you can type into the chat !Roll20, and we will be giving away the module for Roll20 for Star Trek Adventures, which is what we're using to play the game with all this stuff. Yeah, she's telling me in our chat here. So please, if you haven't already, get that into chat, and then we'll give one of those away just in a couple of minutes' time. But let's go around, have a chat, see how everyone was getting on. Eka came away very well from this, I think. This was a good session.
I might have made an enemy of Elrul, but you know.
Yeah,
you'll find out.
I don't know. All's fair in love and business.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hi everybody. I'm Anita, otherwise known as Panita or Critical Misses online. You can find me everywhere at one of those two places. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about the space. So you can find me next on Friday for my Star Trek Adventures game, The Lost Frontier. We are at the season series finale of it, so tune in. It's going to be a fun time. We might have some special guest stars. Maybe. We'll find out. And then also, you can find me every Saturday for Morning Ritual. It's a TTRPG talk show. I need to confirm our guest this week, but once we do, it'll be on our socials. And also, I run Star Trek Adventures on Start Playing Games. So if you want to play in a game with me, do the thing. You can find that all linked in my Twitter profile. And also, we've got a submission for games on Critical Misses. So fill out the form. It's on the Critical Misses Twitter account. It's our pinned tweet. And yeah, we'll take care of the tech, the casting, and you can just focus on telling a great story. That's it. That's all. That's me.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And then Tom.
Hello.
How'd you find that?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Ate Klingon cake, drank some lovely booze, and then took a hike
some engineering
through
problems.
the Jeffries tubes in heavy gravity. What more could you want? That's exactly what you want when you've just eaten some cake and booze. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was great. It's nice to see the kind of the more shadier side of Star Trek. Star Trek's very positive and thing, but the shadier side is there. It's really fun to see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to next week as well. Fantastic. Although I don't know what the title of next week's yet, so quite interesting. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Myself, I am Hotflakes Tom. You can find me on Twitter or any of the discourse, like with Modiphius and Follow Black Cats and all that jazz. I am also a cast member on Follow Black Cats for Blood and Sand, which the lovely Susie DMs every other Thursday. Is it this Thursday or the next Thursday? This I can't remember. But anyway, there might be one this Thursday. I can't remember which week. I've lost the track of that. And I almost forgot that funny enough, I do actually have like a YouTube channel that does audiobooks on it. So all you got to do is check up. It's not an audio book. It's basically 2 short stories in Dragon Age. So if you don't like Dragon Age universe, I did 2 of the short stories from Tevinter Nights and a few other little things there. So all you need to do is just go to YouTube, check Hotflakes Tom, and I'll come up. So if you really want to listen to that, there's that. But apart from that, that's it for me.
All right. Thank you very much. And Susie.
Hello. Sam, your tradition of girl bossy NPCs that immediately spin me into gay panic continues. Well done. Ella Rule. Shed big Desmera vibes. I was there like...
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
I was there for it. I was extremely there for that. It was very fun. Beryl out of a comfort zone in a horrible lamella dress. It was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Looking forward to the next set of shenanigans. When I'm not here doing Star Trek, as Tom said, I'm over at Follow Black Cats on Twitch for Blood and Sand, which is our Game of Thrones RPG set during the Conquest of Dawn by Nymeria. This week, who knows? I may be in a meeting with solicitors and things because we're trying to find somewhere to live. So I don't know. I can't guarantee that we'll be here this week. But as always, keep up to date with our Twitter, which is Follow Black Cats, where you can see all that stuff. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm on my own channel and all over the internet at Susanna Grace, which is Susanna with 1 N. I'm a streamer and I do a lot of video game stuff. At the minute, killing zombies with Tom is what I'm doing on my Twitch. So if you like that, then come along.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And as for me, I'm around the internet at RPG Webby. You can find me on all the kind of like socials out there with that. But as Susie was saying, also as one of the working for Modiphius, also publish our own stuff under Black Cats Gaming. You can find us around the internet at Follow Black Cats or blackcatsgaming.com, blackcatsgamingshop.com if you fancy buying the spy game, which is the first thing that we had out. And we've also got some bunch of little other PDFs and stuff, kind of 1-pagers and stuff like that, which are a good laugh as well. Congratulations to the winners of our Roll20 competition. Please get in touch with April in the chat there. to claim your prizes. Well done, Joggy Wagger, and well done, Shav Hunter 86 as well. So please do check. Please do contact April in the chat and or Modiphius in our little DMs here on Twitch, and we'll make sure that we get those out to you as well. Stick around on Modiphius channel next week on Monday. I imagine we're back with our Fallout 2D20 game, which we're previewing the Winter of Atom campaign book, and April's running that. Very, very exciting little game. And then we're back next week for the 5th episode of our Shackleton Expanse campaign for more Star Trek adventures. So until then, chums, live long and prosper. I remember to do it this week. Well done. Peace and long life. See you later. Thanks.